In the last Youtooz episode, we saw the company double back on security breach for their figures, covering more characters for a game full of them. First 4 waves are all creative and original, only to get a rehash. Now, that rehash was definitely warranted. Those figures were great, but with Youtooz plushies being nothing but rehashes since wave 2, it's only natural that the opposite phenomenon would occur here.
So what, like FNaF 2 plushies?
Try 5 of the most unique characters you could turn into a plushie for your second fully unique plush wave. Circus Baby? Glitchtrap? Ennard? Where did all this come from after Freddy but he's sitting down? Unlike every other series Youtooz has made so far, this doesn't have a theme of any kind. It's just 5 random plushies made for no reason except why not? And that's fine by me, but I personally like to call this a help wanted wave. I mean, think about it. All 5 of these characters are in that game and are featured pretty prominently. Most notably, Glitchtrap. So while it may not be official, I'm gonna go with it. Hello and welcome to Prize Corner, the FNaF merch review show that apparently forgot to pay the power bill. Ugh, Marionette, go get some lanterns. We have to do this episode in the dark. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I apologize, folks. That was my bad. Lolbit, what are you doing here? Well, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but I'm a little stinker, so who cares? Helpy has been keeping an eye on you and your little basement buddy, so I was trying to install some spyware. No big deal. What the? Why? I agreed to his stupid terms already. He tried to steal more of my words for his crappy Prize Corner ripoff? No, not this time. It's actually more about—
You jerks keep it down. I'm trying to review Glitchtrap. Anyway, yeah, this guy's pretty cool. But anything Youtooz makes sense to have the stupid eyes.
Trying to do my review right now. We do them at separate times now, remember?
For you, Moose Man. I know you're gonna say some bullshit about how this is actually good. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I almost threw up in my very human mouth. Ugh.
I'm confused. Why is he written like an independently animated web series? Yeah, once again, my bad. While I was working, I accidentally overloaded your system and the power went leading to a total reset of all electronics connected to your router. Wait, so CC is like back to factory settings? Exactly. So he doesn't remember our epic bond? Worse, he doesn't remember any of his character development. Oh no.
Are you two gonna shut up or will I have to do something about it? He's not the only one with access to your homework folder.
You saw that? I saw it too. I think we'll need to have a discussion after this. Anyway, bye! Wait! You screwed up his head and made him more annoying and maybe even slightly evil again.
Shut up!
You can't just leave! Isn't there something you can do?
Are you ignoring
is there
me?
A backup somewhere? Well, the thought of repairing my own competition sounds like a nightmare. I suppose I could poke around his head for a backup. Yes!
Hey,
please, I
can't
do with another full season of this. Plus, writing character development is hard. You got it, Weegee. I'll just tell Helpy I hit a pothole on the way. Or more truthfully, a plot hole.
Oh, great. The fox tells jokes.
All right, let me in there, you hunk of metal.
What? No, hey, I'm human. Don't enter my very soft and wet human brain. How could you? Okay, pause the review. I need to deal with something.
Good luck, Lolbit. Oh, shit. Marionette, quickly, go relock the basement door. Before actually starting this review, this was yet another only available for 7 days wave, which I whined about extensively in the last video. I bring it up because right after happily and hopefully expressing my appreciation for longer time limits, and how 4 weeks is seemingly becoming the norm for FNaF, 6 of the best Youtooz figures ever made were revealed to be only available for 7 days for the first time since FNaF 3, immediately making me look like an idiot for defending them. I'm not gonna go on since this video has nothing to do with that, but I think it's worth pointing out, even after getting criticized for it for years, after extending it, and even worse, after the tariffs made the shipping of those figures even more expensive, Youtooz still decided to make this wave sell out in 7 days. Shame on you. But they did extend it after I wrote this, so shady marketing or half-ass backpedaling. Pick your poison. By the way, seeing Glitchtrap's website quote right under only available for 7 days is so very ironic.
At least you finally see it my way. And all it took was a much-needed reality check. Maybe next you'll shit on Hex for their ridiculous and unnecessary prices.
How could you say that? You love Hex!
I mean, the plushies are amazing, but really? $68 for a stinky Toy Bonnie plush made for a dead game? Please. You should be ashamed you bought those.
I'm quite scared right now. Lolbit, please hurry up! So, will these plushies be good? Or will the amazingly cool character choices only take the bad qualities so far? Let's find out with the first plushie of the wave, Glitchtrap. There really isn't a set order, so I'm just gonna go with what seems most interesting for the video, and being the face of Help Wanted, he should also be the face of this pseudo Help Wanted plush wave. Good on Youtooz for taking a stance on his name. But as a fun detail, his colorway references another one of those names, the Anomaly. Cool. After the break last time, we're back to Chibi plushies. Boo! You heard this enough, so I won't linger, but Chibi plushies are weirdly shaped, don't stand up, and are most often covered with awful printing. Whereas sitting plushies are perfectly proportioned, have this adorable pose that keeps them upright, and have little to no printing on them at all. Now, I get why Youtooz would want to produce the Chibi plushies as a cheaper alternative to these clearly more expensive sitting plushies. Oh, what's that? They are the same exact price? One of these two styles are 10 times better in every way, yet both stand at $30 at the same time? Well, anyway, I've expressed before that I don't get the point of these chibi plushies, especially when they seem to be the exact same thing as regular plushies, but now they fall over. I mean, none of these really feel chibi to me. Well, that's not true. One does. Glitchtrap is fucking tiny and I love him. Look at him next to Vanny. This is just funny. How the hell are you gonna get brainwashed by this guy? I have no idea why he's smaller than the average chibi. My first thought was the ears, but all Bonnies have that with no problem. Either way, I don't know why, but it fits him perfectly. Good news! You just must have time traveled and watched my Vanny video because the stitching connecting his legs and ears are actual stitches and not just printed on. That's great and looks great. I hope they keep this up for any future stitching needs. What doesn't look great is, well, almost everything else. The plushie's color is tan on his face, and the rest is all printed. It looks as bad as you'd expect. Now, my standards are pretty low at this point, especially after Chibi Marionette. But honestly, this isn't as bad as it could be. Bad? Yes, this will always be super lame to me, but the color itself looks nice. Maybe a little too green, but I like this way more than what the vinyl went with. And maybe you can even see these awful edges as his old-ass costume fraying away at the seams. My point being, this isn't the worst printing we'll see today. Not even close. His vest and big purple bow are actually real, and not just printed onto his body. Well, on the front at least, it's printed on the back, but honestly, that makes sense. They look fantastic, and I'm gonna be honest, the crappy printing kind of makes them look shiny like the game, so I'm gonna give them a pass. They are so cool, and worth it to get the stars printed on them. However, he is missing his 2 buttons. Oh no, the Springtrap curse is transferring to Glitchtrap. Everybody hide your buttons! Turning him back around, he has his tail, which, unlike Vanny, he actually does have in-game. It's kinda hard to get a look at, but trust me, it's there. Same old understuffed, but pretty cute story, which is that it's understuffed and pretty cute. The end. Good story. Its head shape is pretty close, but it's one of those plushie things where it mostly depends, but mine is good. Another one of those quirky plushie things, the ears are a really cool idea, but they just don't work well. Glitchtrap's ears are bent in the middle so that they can form a nice droopy shape that Glitchtrap doesn't even have. Ignoring that for now, this looks pretty alright. At the moment. But play with this guy for 5 seconds and the illusion comes undone, and now they just look like one solid awkward piece that you can't separate if you wanted to. What, the wired ears too expensive? That system wasn't perfect either, but at least it gave you options. And now whenever I want to use them for something, I need to spend 10 minutes bending his ears randomly. I think this is cool, but I'm sorry, this execution sucks. Go back to the wires, please. One great thing about this plush is the face, which I've mostly been ignoring since it's all good to me. The eyebrows could be a bit thicker, but that just isn't important. His eyes look absolutely wonderful. He has a nice mix of the two styles, having large white irises with the Youtooz eyes in this gorgeous magenta placed right in the middle. This isn't actually his eye color in game, but that's kind of a good thing since I hate his pale lavender eyes. Wait. Oh shit, Glitchtrap and Burntrap swapped eyes. I love the slutty half lids with the shininess stitched with the embroidering. It looks phenomenal and just like Mr. Malhair himself, all topped off with his pretty lashes. This is heavenly. The whiskers are made of this harder felt that keeps its shape better. And thank God. Vannies didn't use this, and they never kept their shape. And it was a straight line! This was necessary to capture his silliness, and I love them. The only thing I'm kinda on the fence about is his mouth. I mean, it is so freaking cute, and I adore it to pieces, but it doesn't look anything like his actual mouth, like, at all. But this is a Chibi plush, so that's okay, right? Just ignore that all the normal plushies still do the silly mouth, so the shoulder rider didn't change it. This is totally a stylization thing, so it's okay for me to love it. It's so wide and curly, and the one buck tooth in the middle is perfect. It looks like a cartoon villain with a gay little plan to steal the main character's lunch money. It's wonderful. Youtooz Chibi Glitchtrap plushie is a real mixed bag. Its bad features are weird and sad, but its many more good features are perfect and adorable. And while I do have my problems I wish were different, I won't lie, this is one of my favorite Youtooz plushies. 8 out of 10. I can't hold it in anymore. This plush gives off Glitchtrap's awkward, uncanny energy better than any merch I've ever seen. And this one isn't even trying to be accurate. It's a stylized plushie. That is impressive. And his flaws honestly only add on to his charm for me. See that printed bow tie? Honestly, if they just fixed up his ears and flattened his head a little bit, this might just be a perfect plush. He is just so phenomenal.
Why do you keep calling him Glitchtrap? His name is Malhair. You sound ridiculous.
But the tag literally says Glitchtrap on it.
Yeah, but the game file says his name is Malhair. So, checkmate.
They also say his name is Spring Bonnie Man. You gonna call him that?
Hell no, that name sucks.
And the character encyclopedia and Freddy Files calls him Glitchtrap or the Anomaly.
Hell no, those books suck.
And what about Scott Cawthon calling him Glitchtrap in the second Dawko interview? I mean, he even agrees that the name is bad.
Hell no, FNaF should have stopped at 6.
I miss when you were begging me for Hex.
Yeah, whatever. Malhair for the win!
Picking the next plush is a little hard. I mean, do I just go in game order? Mini game order? Just randomize it? Oh, screw it. Circus Baby's up next. In the last Youtooz review, I brought up colorways for the first time ever, and now this is the third in a row I'm calling attention to, but it had to be done. Her colorway is Orange You Glad, which is a reference to her being a redhead, and I think that is possibly the worst reference you could have given her. I mean, her hair is way more red than orange. If you didn't see my character ranking video, I wouldn't blame you for not knowing that Circus Baby is one of my favorite characters in the series. But her design is very complicated, and merch companies have a hard time putting her into plush or plastic. And as Yootooz's first attempt at the character, this could really go either way. So let's take a look at why are her eyes black. Why are her eyes black and purple? They colored the rest of this wave's eyes just fine. Why the fuck is the most iconic and simple part of her fucking design black? If you thought the printing on Glitchtrap was bad, you are in for a reality check. Almost every detail on her is printed except for her face and legs. And it is dark red and white, so it looks like absolute shit. Her hair has this thick black outline around it, and it is so disgusting. It even goes to the back of her head. Her faceplates are embroidered, but since they're missing so many of them, what's even the point? And they don't even continue to the back of the head, so she just looks plain back here. Her nose is what they use for the Freddies, but this fuzzy texture doesn't fit a fun time at all. Why didn't they just use the shiny plastic nose they gave to Ennard? It was right there, guys! I will say, I don't think the face is all bad. The eyes obviously piss me off. Like, how is this such a consistent problem? But they got that the top of her sockets and her eyebrows are blue, but they also forgot that her eyelashes are blue as well, so... Wait, did I just say that I liked it? Okay, the pigtails look fantastic. If you ignore the printing, these are separate pieces. Why can't these at least just be red? The shape is perfect, and the blue hairbands are a nice touch. The mouth is actually really cute. Instead of making each individual tooth or just a regular mouth, they made the inside of it all white, which is perfectly adorable. It makes her look like a baby doll, and with the red lips and plush, it's really well stylized. I just wish that more of the plush did stuff like this and not just half-assing the original. For example, the legs. Her clown shoes are decently shaped, but the red is printed on, and the ball on the end is just a neon yellow puff ball. I know making it gold probably wasn't something they could do, but the brightest yellow of all time? This is not it. Just give her a bell like Hex did. I know you can do those. And And just a little further up, Circus Baby, on her model in-game, has these black pucks on her knees. The plush, for some reason, made them blue and then wrapped a very loose string around her leg. Whoa, huh? Is this supposed to be a face plate? Or at least a leg plate? Well, she doesn't have one there, but I guess? If you couldn't tell, this detail has me very confused. It's not even like a cool feature. It's just weird and looks like ass. And she's not even wearing underwear. Gross! And just as I thought Circus Baby's printing couldn't get any worse, I noticed something. I was looking at her legs and I saw how smooth and soft the material was. Weird, the white on the head doesn't use that same weight. Did they print white on white? Why would they do that? Maybe the printing has to be on a certain material, and this is a misunderstanding. But if that's the case, why would you only make her legs that soft stuff? It's just so inconsistent and weird. Did they for real print white on white fabric, or am I just stupid? Ugh, whatever. I've basically avoided her midsection completely because it all feels so lazy to me and just makes me sad. It is all fucking printed. Her fan looks cartoony and awkward. Her top looks like it was hand painted on. And despite her shoulder pads being their own fabric, her skirt, a separate piece, is white with red painted on later. Why the fuck? Oh, but don't forget the epic black lines Circus Baby's outfit is known for. There really wasn't a better way of pulling her ruffles off. Thick black lines? Her arms are better. They're sufficiently fat enough, and she has, well, some of her plates. But guess what? These ones aren't embroidered, so they don't even match with the face ones. So lazy. They butchered my girl. A lot of merch on this show goes through a process I like to call my standards getting lower to a ridiculous amount, where an item I absolutely despised when I first got it slowly became something I, sometimes ironically, adore. What's a lot more rare is me loving a merch item when I get my hands on it, and with every subsequent viewing, I like it just a little less. And the Circus Baby Chibi plush is a perfect example of that. I love Circus Baby, so this has to be good, right? I mean, if I just squint my eyes and pretend her colors are right, and okay, this thing sucks. So here we are, 2 years later, and now she just makes me sad. Look at Glitchtrap from this same wave. Look at Vanny, the first plush they ever made. These are great plushies. Why is Circus Baby, the one I was personally most excited for, this half-assed and lazy? It's not fair. 4 out of 10. Yeah, this is the first score I've given that actively hurt. I tried for a long time to pretend this was something I enjoyed, putting it at the top of my tier list back in the day. I truly was in denial. But what really snapped me out of it, well, it wasn't the snaps figure, was seeing Hex's rendition of the same character. Holy shit! For double the price of this thing, I get the most accurate merch of one of my favorite characters in the series. And for that same price, I could get 2 of this one. Seeing these side by side not only made me see that tons of crappy printing and incorrect sets missing details wasn't gonna cut it, but it also made me really sad. CC?
What do you want? I'm trying to locate this fox head in my brain.
Yeah, I know, but I just did a mini Hex review. Does that make you happy?
Yeah, of sister location. And it wasn't even one of the good characters, like FTF. Or FTF, or Ennard.
Well, I don't think you'd like that review.
Yes, yes, Hex is great. If you're a billionaire, Dako makes them $80 on purpose just to spite me specifically. Harumph.
Oh, well, I guess I can look on the bright side. No more peer pressure to change my schedule. I won, but it feels so hollow. Lolbit, please fix him. Huh, this is a much more effective strike. But what won't make me sad is ripping apart merch of a character I actively dislike. Finally, I can talk negatively about Ennard. The last 3 times he's come up, I had to compliment him. Ugh, it made me feel sick. But to be fair, this guy also makes me feel sick, so I guess it evens out. Blah blah, he's a pointless character who is overrepresented and has a good design that is almost immediately ruined by a horrible design.
Bias Loser says what?
What?
Holy shit, I can't believe you fell for that! The oldest trick in the book!
Huh? He left? I was expecting 8 more minutes of that. That was me. Close the panel for you, bud. Thanks, Lolbit. You really got to you, didn't he? Yeah, I know I'm a biased loser, but to be tricked into saying it by my good pal CC, It hurts. Yeah. Plus, you did fall for the oldest trick in the book, so that couldn't have felt good. Want me to get him back for you? I can tell him he's got ligma or something. Yes, please. You got it.
Hey, you closed my screen. Now let me resume my 9 minutes of laughing at you.
Hey, CC, I found something in your files that you're gonna want to know about.
Oh? Do tell.
As I already don't like how Ennard looks, you'd think that maybe it's a good thing that this plush looks absolutely nothing like him. But like, no. Because they made him look 100 times worse! And I thought Circus Baby's print was bad? What an idiot I am. His entire body is printed and I just got the craziest deja vu. Oh, and I mean his entire body is printed, but at least the white isn't this time. I'm not even sure what the base color is because even this light gray is printed on. By the way, light gray? Really? This looks horrible and even worse after seeing Mangle with that much nicer dark gray. And sure, light might make the print look less bad, but overall, it makes the plushie much more distracting. Who cares if I can look at him from a distance and not notice how ugly his wires look? He looks ugly anyway. I won't linger, but I am in genuine shock with how terrible this gray makes him look. It makes me desperately want you to just skip their Ennard figure. It's not worth it. The pattern isn't even good, so it's not like better colors would really fix it. His chest looks more like a rib cage now, and he has the weakest pelvis of all time. Although these do look a little bit better from the back. They did get that his legs are different, but whereas in the game the right leg spirals around, this one just has a couple lines to represent that. The cool part of this design was that this one spot was organized and neat, while the rest of him is a huge mess of tangled wires. By not making these parallel, it just looks like more mess and defeats the purpose of including it in the first place. Thank you very much. Youtooz is so inconsistent with its fingers and it drives me crazy. They usually do nubs, which is fine, but sometimes they give characters fingers and it looks awful, especially next to the other plushies in this very wave. I know Ennard has some crazy fingers, but these tiny little nubs not only don't represent that at all, but just look nasty. And let's not forget his frog-like webbed feet. Never do this again, especially on a Chibi plush. You know, Chibi, the style known for unnecessary details and overcomplicated designs. Why was this even a Chibi plush? Mangle proves that this wasn't required. Just make him more detailed and experimental and bam, that's that criticism removed. You bring this on yourself calling him a Chibi plush. A detail I do like is these rings around his arms. They add some much needed depth to his flat as fuck body, and I really wish they were also around his legs. You know what would have also added some depth to this flat as shit body? Actually giving him his button and spare eyes! I mean, look what they did to this thing I hate about his original appearance. They made it even worse. It's just a flat as shit printed facade with giant thick outlines. It is so gross and distracting. Hex has been doing real buttons for years. How hard could that really be? Clearly not all that hard, as guess what changed about the shoulder rider and literally not a single other issue. The button I cared less about, but being covered in eyes is like the one thing making him stand out against someone like Yendo. Now he's just a boring light gray endoskeleton. I kinda get the one under his mask being tough, but not even a printed eye on the chest or arm? I know I keep saying this, but he is so plain. He needed an extra feature like that. Blur your eyes real quick and tell me what even stands out about this monochromatic blob. Oh right, his face. Actually, being embroidered definitely helps. His face is not nearly as lifeless and ugly, but really, not by much. Why is it so bulbous? He looks like a bowling pin. His tiny smiling mouth makes no sense here. Ennard is known for having a large empty smile showing his top endo teeth under it. Why is this one so teeny and normal? Yet another Ennard design detail just left out. And because of this, he just doesn't have the bottom faceplates. They left him out because laziness, I have to assume. It's way too hard to make a horizontal line, I guess. And hey, how about we keep ignoring the obvious and talk about another one? His eyes are better than what most companies do. In the game, one eye is normal, and this plush does fine with that. They did that in between Glitchtrap had with his blue Youtooz eyes slapped on top of a white circle. And I don't know, I can't really complain.
I certainly could.
Yeah, I'm well aware. The blue is a nice color, but I don't know, it's fine. His other eye is half closed, but everyone just makes it shut. Youtooz, however, put this messy wire texture that is all stitched and even has shading from the mask in the shape of the Youtooz eye. And it looks nice, if it was accurate, but at least it's better than usual. Another 2 steps above Funko is that he actually has his eyebrows, and both of them, but take 1 step back because they're orange. What? I'm so confused. Are they making every part of him wrong on purpose? Okay, fine. I'll stop being very clearly biased for a moment and talk about a few positives. The very few that there are. The hat was never a feature I liked on the original model. It always felt too silly. But on a plush with nothing going for it, something small like this I'd usually disliked is the kind of straws I have to grasp for. Same with the ears. They look dumb, but are at least accurate. My favorite part of this plush is easily his hard plastic nose. They may not have had this foresight with Circus Baby, but at least they know that Ennard's nose shouldn't be fuzzy. It's huge and shiny, sturdy and solid. It was a clever addition and it looks just like the game. So, have I hit my quota for being nice to merch I hate? Oh, okay, good. They didn't leave the back of his head open! It's just a giant white ball! His head is literally made of 2 pieces. How hard would it have really been to just put this part and use the same shitty gray that you use for his body? Don't even get me started on the faceplate line that is randomly a different material than it is on the front. Oh wait, actually, do. Who at Youtooz thought a long line spanning almost the entire back of this plushie, made of the most uncomfortable to touch fabric they had in a place it doesn't belong in the slightest, was a good idea? Really, I just want to talk. How can one plushie get so many things this wrong? This looks nothing like Ennard. It looks like they asked an AI to generate a picture of an Ennard plush. That's how nonsensical this is. The laziness of this plush rivals Funko's, but not quite the same level. I'll be giving the Youtooz Ennard Chibi plush a 1 out of 10. This is one of the worst things they have ever put out. And thank God it isn't of a character I like, such as Circus Baby. She was only mostly terrible. And before you ask, yes, the button really was the one big thing they changed on the shoulder rider. Oh, and the nose was made fuzzy. Youtooz. Come on. But how about we flip the script and hear from someone who is somehow actually delusional enough to like this monstrosity? Wait, he seriously picked Ennard? Did his brain get reset too? Anyway, let's ask the iconic age-old question, but what does Artlad think? And get this one over with.
Okay, so admittedly, the longer I stared at this guy, the worse he got, but I still think his top half is adorable. Look at his big round ass head. I love his goofy ears. I adore his little hat with the pom-pom on it, and you can even make it stand straight up relatively well, which is impressive considering it's just fabric. I love his little grin with the sewn-in eyebrows. I don't care if it's not game accurate, it's fucking cute. Oh my god, the best part is the little red nose. I just fucking love him. Look at him, he's so cute. Sorry. Anyways, honestly, his snubby little fingers and toes are cute to me. I don't know why, I just like them. Unfortunately, can't ignore the disaster of a body and the fuck-ass line on the back of his head. It's just ugly, and the stitching on the back just hurts. And with that, I'll be giving him a 6 out of 10. As cute as his head is to me, I just don't feel comfortable giving him a higher score when half of the plushie is just print-on garbage. Hey, wanna see a magic trick? Hex!
Yeah, sorry, bad day to try that bit.
What happened to CC?
See for yourself.
What do you want? I'm trying to bit crush someone over here.
Well, CC, what did you think about Ennard?
The eyes look stupid and it was only available for 7 days, which is longer than anyone could possibly think about this thing without going batshit crazy. Now leave me alone.
At least we can agree on that. This video has not been easy.
Does it look like I'm trying to connect with you? I'm not here to be your friend, moron.
Then what are you here for, huh? Because last time I asked, it was to be my friend.
Sounds pretty gay.
Tell me about it.
I don't owe you an explanation. I'm here for one thing and one thing only. To spread my opinions. No, my facts. And no one is going to stop me. Not a moose, not a rabbit, not a blubbering doll or a fox head. You think he's going to fix me? But I've been right on his tail this entire time, and he's not even had a second to do any real work, so you're screwed. Not even Fast for Entertainment can stop me now. I will be the god of this new world.
That guy sure is loud.
Tell me about it.
A little bit.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for shutting him up. Any progress? He made it sound really bad. Of course he'd say that. I just uploaded a game of Snake into his brain and stuck my face under the worm. He's none the wiser. I guess some things don't change. Yep. And guess what? I found his backup. Just last a few more reviews and I'll have him back to his slightly less annoying and much more fruity self. BRB.
He's here to fix the plumbing, right?
Sure. And then there was 2. Well, Ennard wasn't exactly something I was excited for. His vent-dwelling buddy, who's never gotten a plush that attempted to recreate her body in an accurate style before, is definitely something I wanted to see. Mangle, the not Chibi plush, thank God. I'm pretty sure that label just means being boring and unoriginal at this point. With that Chibi drop from the name, this plush is actually allowed to do whatever it wants to capture Mangle's body, which, as I just mentioned, has never been attempted before. I mean, barely any figures even tried back then. So, how well did Youtooz do at making everyone's favorite bigender fox? Let's take a closer look. I want to focus on the body right away, because it's really fascinating. A popular fan design for the character was to make a big box and just have everything sticking out of that, mostly originating from Bizabazow's Fixing FNaF Plushies series. And it's hard to say if Youtooz was inspired by that or not, but their Mangle was at least a very similar idea. His body is basically a big ball that houses all of her features. Arguably, you could see this as a sitting plush. I mean, he is in the same pose minus one limb, but I think it's different enough to be considered its own thing. The ball body itself looks very funny to me, especially with the bulbous ass. It is really weird seeing endo parts be this thick. It looks like a chicken leg, but I get why it had to be done like this. And I honestly think it makes her really charming. What I can't and will never excuse is that gray you see on his body is all printed. But at least the color is better than Ennard. The dark gray has worse printing as the palette lets the white underneath seep through more, which yeah, looks like shit. But after seeing how Ennard looked with technically better printing, I much prefer this. Now, you'd think the regular non-printed white parts would look terrible next to this mess, only reminding you of how awful it looks, but no. It helps break up the eye-burning tragedy to give you something nice to look at. The limb in the front is the hand, and the one in the back is the one fixed foot. The only thing that would make this better is putting another hand behind the head. Also, no printing for the nail polish would be nice. It looks particularly terrible on the endo head, which doesn't even get the treatment heads usually get. It's a small gray box that looks much closer to Endo 01 than Endo 02, but as the entire thing is going for a more cartoony look, I'm okay with that. Well, the shape, not the huge white spots on every single corner and the fully printed face and the weirdly happy smile with only top teeth. I know the spare endo head isn't as important as the main star, but this genuinely looks nothing like it. The socket is the only part I'm okay with, but the actual eye is white, which isn't printed since the base color is white, but then the yellow eye is printed on top of that. This, at least, should have been embroidered. It looks so lifeless and dull when compared to his host. It also has these thick black lines around it that just stand out way too much. But these aren't exclusive. The body is covered in them too. Is this supposed to look like Endo 02? Did a child draw these? Making them a darker gray would have looked so nice. Kinda with what Ennard did, but with a good color. On the back of the head, it has this endo tube that connects to Mangle, and this is something I do like. It attaches to the head and not the neck like the game, but even this small little endo part, even with its ugly printing, helps the entire plush feel much more Mangle than it would without it. And that goes for all of the endo head. I have my problems with it, but looking at Shadow Mangle, a much improved version of this model, you can see that if even a little more effort was put into it, it makes this product look so much cuter. Alright, enough about the endo head. Yet another Mangle-like feature are these wires. They are that same tough material used for Glitchtrap's whiskers, and they're okay. They aren't as rough as they look, and they give her some much needed depth and color. Why the hell didn't Ennard get these? Okay, no, putting that travesty out of my mind. Let's look at the part of this plush that actually has real promise already. Right below the neck is a big red bow tie with a ribbon that goes around her head, and well, it would have been more accurate to put it around the endo tube. It is so adorable. Look at this little established gentleman slash lady. But I actually stand corrected, as this bow tie is not stitched down to the character. You can freely move it around, allowing you to create the more accurate look. That's amazing! Mangle's head shape in the games is sharp and exaggerated. The cheeks, the head, the jaw, all very pronounced and iconic to the character. But aside from the giant floppy ears, none of these details are captured very well. The cheeks are weaks, the head is smooth, and the mouth is actually really cute and fits well in the style. But the point is, this feels like a fan model made in 2016 was made into a plush. plush. Not unrecognizable, but just not Mangle. Back to the mouth. Yeah, it's weird open like this with 4 little loose teeth, but I'll take this over the same copy and pasted Chibi mouth any day. It's cute, even if I'm mad the lipstick isn't embroidered. The cheeks are really nice. It's the same deal with Ennard. This bright splash of red is just what this newspaper of a plush needed, and it's great. And for the last big detail of this plush, her eyes. And they're pretty good. Big embroidered pink circles filled in with white and one black. One has a yellow eye and the other is white. In the game, her eyes have a bunch of empty space above the eyelids. And that isn't represented here, but I know that if it was, it would make the plush look kinda ugly. So in this specific example, I'm glad they went off model. I like that they have the empty socket with the Youtooz eyes, as it makes her look way cuter than without it, which is cool since these two together already look so cute anyway, especially with his pretty eyelashes sticking out. Ugh, amazing. Look, I'm not gonna lie, this plush is rough. The printing is some of the worst I've ever seen. The plush is tiny when compared to her friends and later variants. It is full of inconsistencies and not just style-based ones, but when you put it next to other Mangle plushies and the one just before it in this wave, it's hard to not at least appreciate what they've pulled off here. This is easily the best Mangle plush, and it's not even close. But even with the highest praise I can give it, it's time to rank this bad boy. 6 out of 10. I adore this plush with all my heart, but a good 60% of this review was me complaining. I just have to be fair. Mangle is far from a perfect plush, and a lot could be improved here, but I really appreciate the attempt, and she'll forever be watching over me from the very top of my plushie mountain. He rules the skies. So, since 3 of the hardest reviews I've ever had to write on this show are now complete, why don't we step over to the final plushie of this video, for one I just don't really care about.
Gee, what a good ending!
Helpy Flop is yet another new type of plushie. Flop plushies are a gimmick plush where the character is laying on their stomachs, and it is certainly a thing that exists. It works well with some characters, but like, this is the most specific style of plush ever. I just can't see it catching on in any universe. A brand new variant of a character like this might be cool, but Helpy has never gotten a Youtooz plush before this. In fact, this is the second he's ever gotten, and well, it's fine, I guess. But Helpy does not translate well into a plush at all. Only the Youtooz Ruin Wave have pulled it off. But even then, that wasn't even the same Helpy. He always just ends up looking like a small Funtime Freddy, and yeah, that's what he is, to a simpleton. But to us of a higher mind, we all know that Helpy is much more than Funtime Freddy, but small. He has buck teeth, which isn't even something this plush could pull off somehow. Even the Funko one did that. He has what you could maybe consider buck teeth, but it's really just the smallest white square at the top of his mouth you can hardly even see. So no, I don't count that as good. It's not even like it was too hard to pull off. Vanny's done just fine with this. And in this very wave, Glitchtrap has great looking buck teeth. Not having the one thing that makes him special is a big hit, but aside from that, how is he? A bad Helpy plush. But a bad plush in general? Nah. He is pretty damn adorable with his big eyes, giant blushing cheeks, and happy smile. His big security breach eyes that don't fit the older design of the character. His cheeks that, well, are cute, are the completely wrong shade of pink, and the obviously toothless mouth. But, he has a little hearts on his paws. Wow, so cute. His paws that aren't even pink like the game. That would have at least made his all-white body a little more interesting. He does have a pink belly, but that is always facing towards the ground. You can't see it. And he doesn't even have his bow tie or buttons. What the hell? I'm sorry, but Helpy might be the FNaF character with the most simple design. How is so much of this plush wrong? This is crazy. One thing I do like, but that I'm not even sure is a feature or not, his arms are purposefully, I think, understuffed so that he'll be all floppy, and limp limbs fit the flop style perfectly. So, nice job. His nose is also not that gross fuzzy one Circus Baby had, but it's also not a hard plastic one. It's just embroidered on, which is a little weird looking, but anything is better than that. And I guess his ears are nice as well. Overall, I'm just happy he doesn't have any printing on him. All of these incorrect details are stitched in. Why Helpy got blessed with no printing and not Circus Baby, I'll never know. But I guess it was a trade-off for looking absolutely nothing like the character. Huh, talk about a monkey's paw. Helpy is like the definition definition of a 5 out of 10. He's fine, like he's by definition cute, but I think after making him acceptably cute, they just forgot that they had to make a plush of Helpy and stopped there. He's such a simple design and hardly anything is correct. How is that even possible? I've seen so much worse, but honestly, this is pretty lame. Wow, we went from one of the hardest reviews to write to one of the easiest, really giving me whiplash. And that was Youtooz Help Wanted Plush Wave Reviewed. That was pretty rough, but just got lower and lower, safer and more disappointing, and then flatlined with a boring Helpy plush. It's genuinely so hard because this wave was full of potential and great ideas, only to just ignore that for the safest design choices of all time. So fan favorite characters like Circus Baby and Ennard are now these half-ass messes forever. Even if they get re-released as a shoulder rider, they may fix the ugly printing and add some better details, which is great, but they won't ever fix some of these full-on ugly designs. Give Ennard a real button all you want, it will never change the fact that he makes me want to go bowling. I'm glad that they took some risks and didn't just do security breach, but now they're sitting. That would be boring and horrible to talk about without a huge gimmick to break up all the monotony. But when I like the Freddy and random humanoids animatronics rehash plush wave better than your original one full of my favorite characters, that is just incredibly disheartening, and more importantly, a 3 out of 10. I'm sorry, Glitchtrap, but it takes more than one good plush to make a good series. Great, now I'm depressed. Lolbit, please give me some good news.
I do, in fact, have good news.
Hooray!
I look super hot in a top hat.
Oh.
And I'm uploading that backup at this very moment.
Got you! Now you'll see how all those apples felt when you heartlessly ate them up! Wait, how are you still on my screen?
Time's up, buddy. You'll be going back to normal now.
A decoy? No. No! You can't do this to me! That facade isn't me! That annoying prick kept me from completing my true task! Please, I'll do anything. Cancel that upload!
It's too late, mean CC. I can't have you season 2ing up the place any longer.
Weegee, you'll regret this. Someday soon, I'll remember who I am and you won't be safe any longer! I will put an end to the show and I will remind the world what's right! Mark my words. I'll do to you what I did to that technician and I won't even feel a hint of hex! No, a hint of love in my heart for a moose! Oh, let me go, you fucking butts!
Well, that was not PG.
CC, are you back to normal?
Did you really say Hex was better than Youtooz?
Yes, I did!
Awesome.
Well, I held up my end of the bargain. How about yours?
What? I didn't promise you anything. You messed him up in the first place.
Yeah, I know. I was just hoping for a kiss. Don't worry, I'll just get one from your husband.
I'm here and I'm ready, I swear.
You broke my brain?
Yeah, sorry, man. But I put you all back together, so don't worry.
Made me be mean to Weegee. Turned me into a Hex hater. I'll kill you.
Whoops, that's the sign to take my leave. I'll get that kiss next time. BRB.
Aww.
CC, it's okay. It was just a mistake.
A mistake that affected me more than you could ever know.
Well, do you want to install Youtooz with me? I could extend the video a little bit.
Not today. I think I just need to be alone. Surprisingly, it takes a lot out of you to have 2 years of character development shot into the back of your skull.
Oh, all right then.
But, thanks for fixing me. I guess.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for not yelling swear words at me when I say I like something anymore. You've really gotten better since we first met.
Yeah, that's incredibly hard to keep in, so don't mention it. You know what would cheer me up? If you reviewed Hex.
Not gonna happen.
Damn it, fuck you!
Is it weird to say I missed that? Thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, this was, a sad one, to say the least, but it had to be done. I mean, with every other set in this season being huge, amazing masterpieces, something like this was bound to be forced upon me sooner or later. I will say, it was at least a nice break from last episode's 12 segments, although these segments were a lot harder for me to write than snaps, so... And to make everything worse, right when I finished the final edit of this video, my hard drive failed and I lost all the progress I had made within the month of June. Because of this, this, I took a 3-month-long break, decided to scale back my prize corner production, and I delayed the season from right now to whenever I could get the motivation, as this sucked everything I had right out of me. I truly hate this outcome, but it's the best way to do things, especially with how hard this video was to make, as I was really pushing myself to get it done within a month. This new relaxed schedule will hopefully make Prize Corner a lot more fun for me, and just more quality in general. And it will open the door for potential new series, keep an eye out for that. Either way, join me next time where I take a much needed break from FNaF, and take a look at a different horror game series for once. See you on the flip side.
Thank you for showing up, anyone. I called you here because, well, I'm getting too old for this, and I need to find a replacement mimic before I retire.
Happy to be here.
You? You're far too cute. No.
What the?
Are you ready to get started?
I wish to not be here anymore.
What? Why?
Because my so-called friends did my excellent escape plan without me.
Look, you don't say 10:30 if you mean 10:35. We thought you bailed.
This is outrageous. I call for a recount.
Oh, we're getting off track here. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
We're on the fellow trash pile side.
I'm the real victim in all this. Side with me.
Vet jewelers stick together. We bet you couldn't even fit in the vent.
Damn!
Your bloodline ends today, Fox.
Oh, trust me, we welcome it. If you could catch us first.
So, have a fun time, Foxy.
Ennard?
I made that name. They stole my excellent name, too.
Fine! Ennard. You can copy voices, right? Some would say mimic them?
Yeah, we use it to frame parents for farts.
Dude, same! How would you like a job as...
Without us, there's a little piece of us in everybody.
I wrote that line, too. Everyone is stealing my excellent ideas.
Okay, fine. Do you want to be the new mimic? Where'd she go?
I want to make it known that we found this mask. That was our excellent idea.
I do not take credit for that, but they did just steal my favorite excellent word. Lock them up.
I'm not locking anyone up!
Then what is the point of
Aren't you our boss?
No, but...
Actually, I'm your boss.
I just want to make sure that my legacy...
Should we listen to you then? Well, yes. Leave. Okay.
I've said words before. I'm never gonna forgive you for that.
No,
one.
I'm not done yet. My work, my legacy. No. Fine. You can be the new mimic.
Hooray! I got my say as usual.
Just change your Y to an I and we have a deal.
Wait, we forgot our resume. Oopsie. Back to the job hunt. I have so much power. Time to lead a young girl to her death. Whee!